get some communication going, get some mentality going, get the flow inside, the mentality flow words, and start getting us into the mindset, the mentality that it takes to get to where we want to be. Sometimes we got to shut off everything else. Sometimes those things that are not working in your favor, they're working not in your favor for a purpose. Sometimes you have to burn the boats to make sure that you take the path that you're meant to take. See, it's not always going to be working for you, because sometimes in that path of it not working for you, it is working for you. What's working for you, you don't see always on the outside, you don't always understand, and sometimes you have to do kind of in the path in which is in front of you, the journey in which your path takes you. You hearing what I'm saying? Sometimes when it's not working for you, it is actually working in a greater purpose for your journey. And a lot of times, that's what we're facing off against. We're not facing off against if we can achieve it or when we can achieve it, but how we open up our minds, how our mentalities become the purpose, how what you're facing off against becomes a part of the reason. How about that be the purpose? How about the reason why is because I'll never go back to the way that I was? Or a reason why is because the things that you're facing off against on a daily basis don't have the ability to stop you, because you can open your mind to it. You hearing what I'm saying? If you believe in yourself and you work, you put in the time, the effort, the mentality, and the thought process, who's out there to stop you? And that's what it's about, friends. It's about believing in yourself and believing in your ability. And it doesn't change the mentality to help other people. When you uplift other people, you bring yourself closer to your journey. You bring yourself closer to your path. But you also got to be willing to let those that aren't meant for your journey go. You got to be meant for your journey. You hearing what I'm saying? If you're meant for your journey, if you're meant for your path, then your purpose will open up itself in front of you. And see, a lot of times, we don't understand why things are happening. We don't understand why those things happen in our journey. And then later, when the page unfolds, when that page opens itself up in front of you, when that energy unfolds its journey, its path, its purpose for you, then you see those pages. Then those parts of what your journey is about become your purpose. And so, how many of you out there have had a challenge that you didn't think you could overcome? How many of you out there have had a part of yourself that you didn't believe was possible? See, I see millions of drivers out there that are driving for companies instead of starting to believe in themselves. And when I see these successful people, it's because they're tired. Okay, you hearing what I'm saying? They're tired of accepting less than what they can become. And you can become more. And sometimes it's going to work against you. Sometimes when you're fighting that battle, you might see people try to tear you down. You might see people that are going to ask you the question, is it possible? And it's got to be within yourself, within your mind, to remember that you can enable your mind. You can enable your ability. That what you have inside of you is your own battle. It's your own journey. And that you can overcome your challenges by believing in yourself. You hearing what I'm saying? You have what it takes inside of you to be you. And it's a lot of times inside of that place that we find that our purpose starts to open up. It's when other people are not listening. You hearing what I'm saying? When other people cannot hear your journey. It's what's done in the dark that comes to the light. It's when the light shines so bright that even in the dark, you manifest. And that is what we call a business owner, friend. That is what we call a person who succeeds. You know, it's a lot of times we're seeking out after it, but then a lot of people don't allow their minds to be free. Okay? They don't allow themselves to become a free person. They don't dominate their walk. They don't dominate their path. And so when that path comes, when that part of their journey starts to open up, when that starts to happen for other people, who out there is with me? I see the joy in that, friends. I see the joy in the challenges, in being the underdog. You know, in a world where if you are perfect, then everybody judges you. So I'd rather fight in the dark. I'd rather push that path through that the light might shine in places where nobody else could go, where parts of ourselves open up. You hearing what I'm saying? You have the ability in yourself to believe in you. And you know, it's just amazing how our minds can open up. You know, I took a pause there for a second, but I'm definitely back. And you know, it's every single day that we wake up, we have the ability to free ourselves. Every single day we wake up, we have the ability to open our minds, to open our abilities, and to become who we choose to become. And a lot of us out there don't see that part of our path. You hearing what I'm saying? Like, when your path and your journey are not meeting up, you know, something's got to change. Something inside of you has got to use the abilities inside to overcome those challenges. And one of those things that really got to me was hearing the story about burn your boats, right? So if you're going to make a change, at some point you have to make a subconscious choice to change. At some point you got to make a subconscious choice that you're no longer going to deal with situations or challenges that are going to hold you back. And inside of those places, inside of those parts of yourself, you find freedom. Inside of those places, inside of those parts of yourself, you will find the ability, the mentality. It will open up, and you can become who you wish to become. You got to put the time in, you got to put the effort, you got to put the ability. And inside of that mentality, you will find yourself. But you got to have what it takes. You got to have a mindset that you can achieve your dreams. And it's amazing how a lot of other people on the outside will judge you. And so it's when you're not outside, that you're inside of yourself, that you'll start to ask yourself those kinds of questions. And those kinds of questions that you're asking yourself ultimately can become your reality if you're willing to put in the time, the effort, and the ability. You know, it's inside of the manifestation that things become a reality. You know, and it's quite amazing the time that we're in, because we're getting ready to go through an electronic stage towards a new upgrade in battery technology. You know, we're getting ready to get solid state battery technology, which is a much greater capacity. And, you know, if you look back in 05, 04, or even the 2000s, the battery technology was much different. They didn't have as much capability. Their mentality was limited in comparison. And so an expansion of mind, an expansion of ability takes growth. It takes true ability inside of yourself to sit down and study yourself and to evolve and to manifest from within. And as you're doing so, parts of your journey will open up. And inside of your journey, you have space for you. You hearing what I'm saying? And you have the ability to believe in yourself and believe in your mind, that you have what it takes, that you have to make that space. You have to allow yourself to grow. You have to allow yourself to believe. And a lot of times we try to find a plan B. You hearing what I'm saying? Are you hearing what I'm saying? You're plan A, and you got to follow it. You know, and a lot of the times as we're growing, we set dreams in front of ourselves, but who actually writes it down and follows it through? You know, ask yourself that question, and you're going to find a manifestation. You're going to find the dreams that you're seeking out after. And many times we're not open-minded to see our own path. We're not open-minded to see the part of who we are, because at that time we might not see where we can be, what we can become. And that's the great part about the great matrix that we live in, this great universe that we exist in, is that everything that happens in our life happens for our journey. It happens for our own growth. And it's opening up the mind to that point that frees oneself. It's inside of freeing ourselves that we start to believe. And when we believe in ourselves, we start to believe in our abilities, and our abilities start to open up. So when we're using our skills, when we're using the things in which we have our abilities to utilize, there is a space for you to charge. There is a space for you to invest. There is a space for you to become and to manifest. And a lot of us, we put our energies into somebody else, into some other place. And inside of that place, we spend our energy. And at what point do we charge our energy? You hearing what I'm saying? When is it about your journey? When is it about your path? When do you charge that thing that you are? When do you set your schedule? When do you allow yourself that space? And it's not about enjoying the energy and putting it into others, but also becoming a part of our own path. And you know, some might be listening, some might be hearing this, but are you in the mindset to gain your own existence, to become the mass that you wish to become? And you know, I realize that we're not always charging our own battery. You hearing what I'm saying? We're sometimes out there draining our battery, and it's give me 1 second, guys. And the question isn't, you know, can you become the top in your profession, in your trade? It's, can you become the best you? Can you become the best part of who you wish to become? And you know, it's quite amazing when we start investing in ourselves, how open our minds become. You know, it's quite amazing when what is on the outside is becoming manifested, and that we're actually charging the energy inside of ourselves. You know, if there's something that I've learned from doing meditation for the last 10 years, and it's be true to yourself. Be true to who you are inside. Let that part of you become that part that your path is on. And by doing so, it will manifest outwards. It will manifest from within you, and that the greatness that is inside of us becomes a reality on the outside the minute that we realize we have the ability to charge this battery that we are. You know, it's amazing how there's a lot of people that want to become the top in somebody else's company or somebody else's business. But at some point, you become it for yourself. You start to become that place, you start to become that part and that journey. And so, are we charging that battery? See, who asks that question? How do we charge our own battery inside of ourselves? What will drive you? What will make you become the 1%ers in the world? The people that are no longer willing to stand with the challenges that are in front of them, but will face off against them and manifest. You know, it's inside of us. It's engraved in our minds. It's engraved in our beings to program ourselves to utilize our batteries. Well, who charges their battery? Who charges the energy? Who utilizes the investment within that it might manifest outward? Hear what I'm saying? You can become that. You can manifest that. You can believe in yourself if you use the tools, the abilities. And you know, as I work in my own company, as I grow this company, this transportation company, you know, look back in the videos, you will see the 5 years of car sales, the 3.5 years of telesales, the 10 years of meditation. And you will see the manifestation. It's not a surprise that I am where I am now and where I will be in 10 years from now. And it's inside of ourselves to believe that we have it inside of ourselves, that we're willing to burn the boats, to find a single path, a single journey, to have mastery inside of ourselves, to utilize the energy, to not drain the energy. You know, I was working in a dealership and I got all the way to the $10,000 a month paycheck. I thought it was amazing. I thought getting this $10,000 in a month was amazing. Little did I know, that was just the beginning, friends. The true investment is the energy that you put inside of yourself. The true investment is the ability to utilize your path, utilize your journey. And you know, there's going to be people that are going to try to put you in check. There are going to be people out there that are going to say, oh, your transistor isn't perfect. Oh, your energy isn't flowing right. And sometimes those people aren't meant for your energy current. You hearing what I'm saying? Your path is not meant for everyone else. Your path is your journey, and that your energy can flow. Your energy can be utilized to open your mind, open your ability. You can master your journey. It's got to be up to you. And one day, got to pick up your big boy pants and do it on your own. And a lot of people aren't willing to do that. A lot of people would rather somebody else's journey, somebody else's program, instead of start their own. Instead of start their own path, their own journey. And that is the place in which David Goggins talks about embracing the suck. Because it's not easy. It's not easy to start your own path. It's not easy to start your own purpose. Until you're sitting in that place and you're sick and tired of it. You're so sick and tired that the only way up is to look inwards. You hearing what I'm saying? I look at the greats. I look at Les Brown, who said, if you could land on your back and you can look up, then you can get up. And I look at all these people out there who said it's not possible. You can't achieve that. I want them to see that in 10 years, 5 years from now. You just look back and you'll see this journey. Just look back and you'll see your path. But are you putting it to pen to paper, to voice, to mind? Are you putting your abilities inside of yourself to utilize your mentality? Or is your mentality utilizing you? And so hear what I'm saying? You know, a couple of weeks ago I got to go see Mickey Mouse. And when I went and saw Mickey Mouse, I had a smile on my face. I had a different part of my journey moving. I had the part of my journey that I understood that was time invested in self, invested in ability, in mentality. And there's a lot out there that say that the wolf climbing the hill is greater than the wolf that's on top of the hill. And a lot of people don't realize the first thing about a lone wolf is that they travel alone. Hear what I'm saying? They trek the path through the snow. They take the purpose, the journey, and the alpha out there in the mind. The alpha out there in the mind is on their own in the snow, in the sun, is beating at it when other people would say it's not possible, beating at it when other people would just give up. They're in the arena. They are on the path. They are on the journey. And even when they're on the top, they're looking at a higher place to go. And you can achieve it. You can become it, but you always got to manifest it from within. You got to pull that part of yourself inside that no one else is willing to go. You got to find you. You got to take that little guy you got inside of you and that big guy, and you got to make that little guy stronger than that big guy you got inside of you. When you do that, the world becomes a blessing. It becomes a place. It becomes a part of your journey, and your path starts to open up. You hearing what I'm saying? You have inside of you something that nobody else does. But you got to put in the time. You got to put in the effort. You got to put in the ability. And then the mentality opens itself up. You know, I look back 10 years ago. Okay, you hearing what I'm saying? 10 years ago. You know, let's look back 15 years ago. You know, I was working at Walmart unloading trucks 8 hours a day. And now I'm looking at the blessings in which I have in front of me now, and the growth inside, and the path. And I just, I'm so grateful that time. I'm so grateful that those challenges came. The reason why I am where I am right now happened. And I'm telling you, you can achieve your dreams. You can achieve your goals. You can become the reason why things happen in your life. That you got to believe in you. And you got to believe that you have what it takes inside of you. And there's a lot of people that are not willing to put in that kind of time. And here I am, you know. And you know what's great? At one point I was homeless. At one point I had to get on Facebook and put an ad out for a bedroom for $300-400. And people laughed at me. And here I am picking people up. And when I started doing Uber and Lyft, I had people telling me it's impossible for you to earn money in that. 9 years later, I was earning money in that, friends. 10 years later, I started my own company. You hearing what I'm saying to you guys? And it's growing. And in 10 years from now, it'll be greater. And you know, that is what I mean. Have a track path with a proven success rate. You hearing what I'm saying? Have a track path with a proven ability, with a proven mentality. And mine does work. It's working right now. It'll be working in 5 years from now, 10 years from now. The program of mentality within gives the ability to manifest on the outside. And you can go back and watch my videos. Go ahead, watch the stuff I got going on. Ask yourself if it helps you. Ask yourself and subscribe to my channel. Go look back. Watch the videos. See that if in 1 week, what I'm talking about works in your life. That writing things down, speaking things out, putting your mind in place opens you up. As this story goes on, are you becoming that person in your story? Are you becoming that person that you wish to become? Are you manifesting your dreams, your reality? And it's a joy, you know, and I start to understand why things happened in my life, how things happened in my life, the reason the things in my life happened. As much as the journey brings your path joy, so does also your ability to be yourself open up. And it's quite amazing to have that kind of growth, to have that kind of ability inside of ourselves, to have that kind of mentality, because it can become your journey. It can become your path. You can achieve your dreams and they can become a reality. And you've got to enjoy it. You've got to take the reins of your path, take the reins of your journey, and become that part that you wish to become. And a lot of people out there, they are not hearing that. They're not seeing that. They're not listening to that. And when their failures are coming, they're not seeking out after success. It's inside of that place that the greats live, that when it's failing, it's also succeeding. And you can become your successes. You can become the reason why the journey has a purpose. You can become the reason why those things happen for your better good, for your better positive force within the universe, that you can become a reckoning within this universe that, wow, that person reached that level. How many stories you heard that's done that before? How many stories you heard, how in the world that person pulled that off? Well, they open their minds. You hearing what I'm saying? Open your ability to grow, to become, to learn. And you will find a part that nobody else can. You will find a part where nobody else is willing to go. And it's amazing when that happens. When that part of your energy flows, you start to have understanding. You start to have observation. You start to find a way where there is no way. You hearing what I'm saying? And inside of that is joy. Inside of that part, when it wasn't possible, you worked at it. You put in the time, the effort, and the ability, and it became a part of your journey where nobody else was willing to go, and you started to find yourself. You started to find a part of you that brings you closer towards your dreams and your goals. And I'm just telling you, it's possible. It might just spark a part inside of you that you might dream again. You might become the part of your path, the part of your journey where no one else is willing to go. That you might be able to become a manifestation, in your reality. Because that's happened in my life, okay? That's happened in my journey. At one point, I was homeless, okay? At one point, I was abandoned. At one point, all those types of things happened in my life. And at one point, I had the girlfriend who died of stage 4 cancer. At one point, and I'm sitting here telling you guys that your blessings come to you when you put yourself out there. And not even just take right now, but go back and watch my videos from 5 years ago when I wanted to help other people out. And still even today, I want to help people out. As I grow, I went from doing telesales in a call center to car sales for 5 years to 9 years of Uber driving to being my own business owner. You hearing what I'm saying? It's possible, guys. It's possible that you can achieve your dreams, you can achieve your goals. And in education, they teach you how to do so. But not only that, they also are not in the place to liberate the mind. Blessings, Tyler. And I'm telling you, inside of that place, inside of you, everything exists that you need to become who you wish to become. And as I sit here, and I'm working for myself at this point, it's happening. Give me 1 second, guys. You know the great joy that I'm feeling right now, sitting here picking up my own private client. You know the great joy that I'm feeling right here, 5 years ago, knowing that I was homeless, having an ex-girlfriend die of stage 4 cancer, having an ex-wife abandon a marriage, and yet everything that's been in this life is great. It's absolutely the best thing that ever happened to me. The ever you're hearing right now isn't because of one part. It's because inside of that place, inside of you, it exists. You know, and the helping other people, the only people that benefit are those people that enjoy, those people that are going through the challenges out there. I feel for you. Trust me, I feel for you. And it's inside of your own liberation, inside of who you are, that you can become, that you can manifest, and that your dreams can become a reality. And so, as the growth in this journey inside of this path, inside of this joy becomes, it becomes a part of you. And it's inside of that place where we find ourselves, for one, and we help other people on their journey. You hearing what I'm saying? You can become blessed for being yourself. You can become blessed when other people won't see a way. And you can be that way. But you got to believe in it. You got to believe that you have what it takes to be yourself. And it's like so awesome. Like I mean I am so ecstatic for life. Like when I went to Disneyland, something changed inside of me. You know why? Because I had been working for months for myself beforehand. And you know what I did? I went there, I took a picture with Mickey Mouse, bro. I took a picture with Mickey Mouse, and the smile on my face was so amazing, because I realized for the rest of my life I'm never going to be a slave. That I'm going to work my tail on achieving and energizing this thing, energizing this ability, and uplifting other people along this path, along this journey. And that you don't have to have everything else that other people have to be you. And it's a light that shines inside each of us. And it's inside of our own manifestation that dreams can become a reality. And you know, it's just not just like, okay, you're there now, so how did you get there? But inside of your own work, inside of your own path, that your journey becomes that place. And so are we achieving those kind of dreams on our own? Are we becoming that part of our path? You know, one thing that I think back of, when I was younger, I went through scouting, and I'm an Eagle Scout. And there's great value that I learned on going camping every weekend. There's a great value learned when you are able to sit there and look at the stars, or look at the ability and see what really truly matters to you, what truly becomes you. And there's some people that they go and look at the stars and they go, oh man, I gotta go back to work. And then there's other people out there that go, man, this is a joy to be here. I'm so ready to go back. I can't wait. You hearing what I'm saying? You can become that person who can go and enjoy the stars and come back and be a star. You can be that person who can go out there and be out in the stars. And in life, you can be that star to your journey, to your path, to your purpose, no matter what the challenges are that you have. You may not be able to read, write, speak, communicate, but you can be a star in your life. You could be that top player on your team. You could even build your own team. And that is the one percenters. Those are the lone wolves climbing the hill. Those are the ones that are on top of the hill and they're still looking up at the sky. And see, that's the kind of blessings, that's the kind of joy that this journey brings to us. And are you the one achieving that? Hearing what I'm saying, you can become that one who is everything that everyone else is not. And see, the thing is, everybody on the planet, for the most part, is looking an outwards journey. You can become the inwards journey. You can become the reason why your path happened. And you know, it's quite amazing to be able to hear how repetition becomes perfection, how our goals can become a reality, how our challenges can become our best friends, and how we can become that part of our journey. So I wish to leave you guys with that form of a blessing, with that form of a mentality, that this might open your mind to believe in yourself, to become the person you wish to become inside, that it might manifest outwards from within who you are. See, a lot of people, they're not thinking about what it takes to be themselves. They're not thinking about how to energize their inner battery. But then, when they're out in the stars, energized in their own battery, and they're brought back to a reality. See, that's what happened in 2019. A lot of people woke up one day and they found they had become the reality in their life. They had to become that part. They had to choose to look at what they were, where they wanted to be, and what they wanted to become. And so here we are in that place, inside of that same exact time. Are we utilizing it just because we have more capability, more mentality? Are we utilizing our minds, our abilities inside of who we are to become that person that we wish, dream, and manifest? And that's all I'm asking you guys today. What does it take to be you? What does it take to be yourself? To ultimately open up your mind to the reality that you exist, the reality that you have a place, that you have a purpose, that your blessing, that your journey is there for you. And it's I'm amazed at the length and journey that I've been on. I'm amazed at the people that I've come across. I'm amazed the lessons that I've learned, the path that I'm on, the people that are in my life that have been through and are going through their own journeys and their own paths. And that is what I mean by blessings always and namaste. Now, all I gotta say is, if you're going through a challenge, you gotta just ask yourself a true thing and just be true to yourself. Is what I'm doing today, is it bringing me closer to myself? Is it bringing me to a place of meditation? Is it bringing me to a place of motivation? Is it bringing me to a place of inspiration? Because if it's not one of the three, I don't want it. And I've worked my life to bring myself to that place. I woke up one day sleeping in my van asking myself that question. Might that question inspire you all to ask yourself, is what I'm doing today, is it motivation? Is it meditation? Is it inspiration? I do hope that you all have a blessed day. Please subscribe, comment, and leave a thumbs up. All out there, blessings and namaste.